a country of two agricultures, where we came to the realization, leaning on a whole range of data, which suggested that black farmers in South Africa still make up about 10% or so of the commercial output. It doesn't matter what the figure is. In the sugar industry, maybe higher than that. In other commodities, it's less than that. But the bottom point is that we still need to journey in our transformation approach. And I think the issue of transformation also needs not to scare other stakeholders, because I've started off my submission today by talking about this land point, because other people, when we talk about transformation, they typically think of it as a zero-sum game, taking and giving. But there is now land that we should be starting from in order to distribute, and also thinking about how do we mobilize then the financial instruments that are there. And I think that Nate Makenete, who's with us, who is an expert on these aspects of financing, has over 3 decades really working and practicing on the aspects of agricultural finance, can come up with some insights of how exactly do we design the funding models and the funding instruments that will be able to underscore all of these processes that we are attempting to do. But I think the core focus should not be ensuring that we ask the minister to call another land Indaba. I have heard the minister and many others talking about the possibilities of calling another land Indaba. I would say to the leadership of SAFDA, that is not going to be a progressive way of driving land reform. But the key starting point should be about how do we release the land that is there, released with title deeds or long-term leases, but also making sure that we select the right beneficiaries that will actually be able to get that land and partner with other stakeholders on ensuring that we make that as a success. And it's very important that as South Africa, we focus on agricultural progress as well as an expansion, not only just in response to the issue of transformation, but also just thinking about the pressures that are there in rural communities of this country. Because the reality is we are still stuck with higher levels of poverty in this country. We have over 5 million South Africans that are in poverty. And if you think about the provinces that SAFDA are practicing, think about KZN, Mpumalanga, and of course I would add Eastern Cape and Limpopo are some of those provinces that are grappling with the higher levels of poverty. And the only way we can address the issues of poverty is by unlocking the agricultural production, because agriculture brings the necessary jobs, bring the necessary business activity that is needed to ensure that we unlock some activity in some of these regions. And I think that bringing agriculture into the discussion then is about job creation, is about addressing the hunger and the poverty problems. But at a bigger scheme of things, it's also about adding to growth. Because many people, when they try to minimize our sector, they say, no, don't talk about agriculture. It's a small sector. It is about 2.5% of the GDP. But as we've learned from work of BFEP and others, that in fact, when you think about backward and the forward linkages of the agricultural sector, it gives you somewhere around about 14% of value in the farming economy in South Africa. So when you are thinking about the macroeconomic growth and the structure of this country, it is then perhaps maybe necessary to pay particular attention on agriculture, because it gives you growth at a national level, it gives you employment, and it helps you to deal with some of the household food insecurity challenges. Because remember, all of you as stakeholders, the farmers, and many other partners in the value chain that are sitting in the room now with us here at SAFDA, combined, you are employing roughly about 1.3 million South Africans. That's roughly 7-8% of our overall employment. There are about 350,000 people that are working in the value chain. But also, as of the third quarter of this year, 2025, we had about 920,000 South Africans that are working at a primary level. Now, when we are thinking about expanding then agriculture activity, particularly bringing that 2.5 million hectares of land into production, we can now come closer to the vision of the late, great Mohammed Karan, who said there could be 1 million jobs in agriculture, because what he was counting was partly bringing that land into full production, but also he was thinking about the possibilities of unlocking the value chain on what could be done on that. And I think that's the whole story of this. And as that is happening, as I come to close of my remarks here, is also the idea of utilizing trade policy quite instrumentally. And I know that the sugar industry, you are one of the people that have been exposed to a number of trade shocks. And I sit in one of my work as a commissioner of ITEC, the International Trade Commission of South Africa. And one of the aspects that we grapple with as ITEC is, of course, the administration of the tariffs in South Africa. And you yourselves have some of the matters that you have presented before ITEC. And I think that from an ITEC perspective, there is a deep understanding and appreciation of the value that the sugar industry does for this country, as well as the contribution that you could make on employment, as well as the upliftment of the communities. And I think that in this celebration of the existence of SAFDA and all of the work that you have done over the years, I can only call for more partnership to elevate and push forward the work that Dr. Madlala and as well as the leadership of SAFDA has already been doing. And with that, I will thank you so very much and apologize again that I am coming to you via these screens and not there in person, but I will be able, of course, to engage with many stakeholders even after this session. And I wish you well for the duration of the conference. Thank you so very much for listening.
There you have it. SAFDA dubbed as a key player in South Africa's agricultural transformation, as well as agriculture development in the country. That was, of course, Wandile Sihlobo, Chief Economist at Agbus. From our economist to our opening address, ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome on stage a dynamic social entrepreneur and transformational leader, also a key player in agricultural development in South Africa. Your hands and mine for Dr. Siyabonga Madlala, who is, of course, the Executive Chairman of SAFDA.
Thank you, Program Director. Honorable Deputy Minister, I don't know where to start mentioning all the honorable guests I see here. Maybe it would be safe for me to say that all protocol observed, but maybe worth mentioning my Deputy Chair, Mamli, our Mafungwase. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to greet you all. Sanbonan. Why do I sense a feeling of depression? Natabugisa. Sanbonan. Hello. When I say hello, you say hi. Hello. Do I intimidate you by my looks? Because I just don't get the vibe. We are in a celebratory mood. As our Program Director has indicated, we are celebrating 10 years of existence, which is a huge milestone for a black organization that was told, even in its inception, that you won't last a year. You can't imagine just how bubbling the feeling is in my heart and how joyous am I today to stand in front of you 10 years later and saying we are still standing up and growing higher and higher. And again, bringing about this kind of a crowd, which when I sit down, I'm really pressured to listen, to actually absorb as much as I can, even as we step into this symposium, looking forward to your contributions. The crowd I see here is a crowd that will define or redefine the future of agriculture. Maybe clap your hands for yourselves as you sit here. If just put that aside. Just join us in this celebratory mood today. Yes, I've been asked to give opening remarks. I'm actually geared for tomorrow's celebration. I'm actually in a dancing spirit. I want to actually jump and start, the Zulu traditional dance, because angizange la kuzodlala. And as I just bring about perhaps this speech that I'm expected to deliver, I ask of you that you see yourself as this history being rewritten, that 10 years later, 100 years later, you would have been part of the redefining of the agricultural sector. Time has come for black farmers to take the center stage. Markets are forcing that it happens, especially here in the sugar industry. We've got sugar mills that are crying out for more sugar or more sugar cane. And when you look at where is their area of expansion, it is gladly in those rural communities of KwaZulu-Natal and Mpumalanga. Opportunities are beyond what we can grasp and grapple with right now. Partners such as you who join us as we redefine the future, you will have your names written in history, that you were the ones who played a role in ensuring sustainability of big sugar mills in this country. Lalela, when we talk about redefining the agricultural sector, I don't think you understand the depth of it. Commercial farms have always existed. But when you look at the coastal belt, you see a lot of urbanization happening. Where is urbanization happening? It's happening on commercial farms, meaning that the sugar mill's sustainability is a threat. You know, when those farms turn into those big mansions and when everyone is buying those, you know, townhouses and those what, it means sugar mills are losing sugar cane supply. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Then it means for us in those deep rural areas, opportunities are coming our way. To understand what it means. The cane lands that were laying fallow for years, that were left to lie fallow anyway because there was surplus cane supply, no longer become redundant anymore. They've become prime lands. That already redefines agriculture into the future. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. But I'm just saying to you, watch the space. Some of the lands that used to be worthless in terms of value, banks will begin to want to fund them. I'm telling you today. Those banks that used to shy away from funding rural communities will begin to say, where can I fund now? Because even as we sit here, now when you look at the economics of sugarcane agriculture, the small-scale grower has now begun to be the most profitable segment of the sugar industry. Someone who comes from that space, I see endless opportunities of redefining that rural economy and rejuvenating the rural economy. So when we sit here, I'm not only talking into the sugar sector. I see opportunities across wherever there are rural communities. Now it's no longer time for them to just wait on government grants to see if there's any development they can do. Let's start working now. Because I can tell you, those that will wait for government grants will find us on the way reaping the benefits as we start doing it now. So you are blessed and honored to be part of this journey of SAFDA. When we redefine the agricultural sector, our very depth meaning of it is to say that it cannot be that continuously, 30 years down the line, we are hearing only 10% is produced by black farmers. You know, stats can't lie. They show the actual realities of who's producing the food we eat. I'm not talking racial issues here. Black people are the majority in the country. They cannot continue to just be consumers when in fact they are riddled with poverty. They must begin to contribute to that very same pot where they are buying the food from. Hello? I'm not happy with your vibe. Maybe I must see this event of today and go to the tomorrow's one. I don't know whether you get the vibe. You cannot be sitting here and just be someone who's like feeling like we're in a funeral. No, man. Look at me. I'm even dressed up for you. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing here? Today, to me, as a SAFDA leader, I'm blown away. We're hearing speeches from the likes of Abawandile Sihlobo. You know, I just don't know, when I look at the caliber of people that really now see SAFDA as a real deal. I'm amazed, the very same organization that couldn't come to these premises. Because when we first launched SAFDA, we couldn't even enter those gates. Because the whole point was, we want to express ourselves in the development agenda. Don't tell us how you want to develop us. Listen to us, and we'll tell you how we can develop ourselves. And thank God government heeded to that call. Mam Fabs, we will never forget that day. Because it is through that even the very same industry was rescued 2018 In 2018, this industry was going down. 2 mills shut down precisely because of the deep sea imports. And credit notice is not given properly to SAFDA, that we took this fight to the streets of Pretoria. Hey, la, la, la. It was a Friday when we were told we can march in Pretoria. And on a Monday, 32 buses were filling the streets of Pretoria. You know who SAFDA is? It's Unhamile. If you don't know who you're sitting with here, if you are troubled, we will SAFDAize you. You'll probably go back home. Hey, Bagit. It is for that moment, it is for that reason, sorry, that we are saying, we are not going to be apologetic about redefining or reimagining the face of agriculture. If we don't contribute in our lifetime, that the status quo cannot remain. If we don't contribute positively towards changing the status quo, history will judge us. So I'll implore all of you, as you join us in celebrating SAFDA's milestone of 10 years, that the dial hasn't moved. We cannot be proud and bold and say, "It's Achivile," when I have yet not seen 51% of cane tonnage coming from black farmers. If that hasn't happened in our lifetime, at least they must see the dial having moved towards the towards the 50s at least, towards 49. Before we die, let us see that in our generation, the sugar industry turns and celebrates at least 50% of their tonnage and throughput coming from black farmers. Not from rented black land, no, but farmed by the black farmers. You know, when you talk transformation and you talk training, we've been trained enough now, so we are ready to farm. Let us farm. Don't squeeze us into deals that suggest that you continue to lease the land from us. We want to farm the land. So before I run out of my 15 minutes, I'm used to talking 2 hours and 3 hours. So my 15 minutes is still at 2 minutes. So before I run out though, I really want to say, this is not a talk shop. As you continue throughout the day and look at the topics, please contribute meaningfully and please participate meaningfully so that your name will be recorded in history books, that we changed the course of history and really contributed towards the 50%, 51% that will be produced by black farmers in the future because of these kind of engagements. Banks and partners like the Kagisos. Where is Kagiso again? Can I ask that the champions of Kagiso stand? You can take your seats. La. We've knocked doors. We know people who have shut their doors when we knock. Others being confused by politics on the thin air about some of the things that people have confronted us and perhaps started fighting us, being anti-transformative, and we've been aggressive about fighting them. And that narrative may have scared you away from SAFDA. Look, when you start shaking the status quo, you become enemies to those who benefit in the status quo. So you did not listen to those, and you wanted to have a one-on-one with SAFDA, and you believed in our vision. You've not only believed in the vision, you've already contributed to the vision. Yesterday, we walked the streets of Glendale Valley, where some of your money is going into. And you saw the real people of SAFDA. This is not SAFDA. I'm merely, by the farmers themselves. You saw the farmers yesterday. And you felt what it means for them. Believe you me, other partners will come, perhaps will be saying to them, maybe we'll see you later with your money. Because we don't also want money that has got conditions that are saying to us, maybe let's not be too harsh on transformation. Sorry. We need money, but we don't want money that will actually bribe us to then change our course of transformation. And you partnered SAFDA in a way that I can't believe it. When you sit in your boardrooms, how did you see that this is worth funding? Because others don't see it. They expect a white man with a suit and tie and everything to talk, and then they believe Shenge men. Angazi ukuthi ngathini. Oshengeke bafunde nasesilungwini bafowethu. When they come and they speak, if you don't see their face, you will think hey, Mfandeni Merwe lokhuluma la. Or Mr. But they will be presenting SAFDA Anwa, your team sengiyahlala phansi. The team SAFDA that has actually brought us this partnership to being. Teams SFS and the whole team of SAFDA. I really appreciate you guys. By EXCO at SAFDA, I see also my CEC members. I see other partners and stakeholders who believe in SAFDA. Sorry guys, it's not about you today, but I see people from Santam, from people who really partner at SAFDA on other endeavors. Colleagues, this is a movement that you want to be part of now, so that you don't regret later. You want to join them. We'll be saying, hey, join the queue, Lapana, because you'll probably be too late to join us. But everyone who's here, welcome to the sweet soils of South Africa. Siabo.
There you have it. SAFDA is open for business. I do get, I do understand, that feeling of when you are the new guy on the agricultural block and you constantly have to prove yourself and prove yourself. And I remember from my journalism days that you were one of those fiery individuals that were oftentimes very much in the newspapers for your passion for agricultural development and transformation. So thank you for the work that you do and for being tenacious in what you do. Let's give Dr. Mudlala another round of applause. Of course, we also joined by Mrs. Joanne Marie Fobbs, who's the former chair of Trade and Industry Parliamentary Portfolio Committee, as well as former vice chairperson of the South African Sugar Association. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's give her a beautiful round of applause. Fantastic. Let's now go into our partner address, like in Tatem, the big guys. He's sitting next to the leader at Kagiso Trust, who's of course Dr. Mankodi Moetsi. Let's give her a warm round of applause as she takes the stage.
Good morning, good morning. Ngiyakuzwa Dr. Madlala. Umshado lo. Singathi kwa Limpopo ba re jwalo. Yes, when we celebrate in Limpopo. Program Director, Honorable Deputy Minister, the Chair of SAFDA and the Deputy Chair, the Chair of SASA. Princess, you have already been acknowledged, Radebe. The Board of Kagiso Trust here, management, executives, staff, and the various CEO. I saw my friend Leonie there. Hi, Leonie. And all other various CEOs of organizations. I'd like to take this opportunity to really greet you, distinguished guests, colleagues, partners in this sector, and more importantly, to our farmers, communities whose livelihoods we are here to talk about. I guess for us as Kagiso Trust, which I'll just talk to you briefly, I always want to take the opportunity to honor the people who started these organizations 40 years ago. People who were selfless, whose heart was to say nobody should be left behind. We are just coming late at the end to carry out their vision. We honor them because as staff and management, they've given us the lens to see the world differently. They've given us the lens to say it's not okay to have other people not to have opportunities and only opportunities be reserved for the few. So for us this year, Kagiso Trust, it carries this 40-year milestone. It carries a very significant milestone. We talk about igniting human capacity. We believe that it is our collective role to make sure that what each one of us have in their hands is given the opportunity to thrive. So for 40 years, we've been walking and standing alongside communities, investing in people. We have a firm belief that sustainable and meaningful development is only possible when it reaches the people who need it the most. And throughout the years, our work spans across education. Most of you would know about systemic change that we humbly believe we contributed to, making the Free State to be a top performing province in the country, even if it's a rural province. Beating other provinces that I don't want to mention, but they are seen as more advanced. We believe that a rural learner should know that someone will look for them and find them. We believed in changing the system so that it's not just about the few, but it's about many and many given opportunities. We also focus on institutional capacity building. We are under no illusion. For us alone cannot do it. So we believe in a very robust civil society. We really believe that civil society are not a by the way. We don't see civil society as coming after government, private sector. We see them as an equal partner. And South Africa is designed in a way that unless we have a civil society that is supported with rigor, we stand not to gain optimum value. We focus on socioeconomic development, and that's why we are here today, and also financial inclusion. But the common thread from our early days up until now has always been partnerships. And we are learning a lot. Partnerships are not easy. They require one to lower their ego appetite. They require one to look at the other side, that they might have a better formula in this area better than yourselves. So every milestone has been possible because of collaborations. And for us, collaborating with communities, with government, civil society, organizations like SAFDA represent the hopes and the ambitions of the farmers. So yes, it feels befitting to us today, in the year of our 40th anniversary, to gather here with SAFDA. Thank you for giving us an opportunity to partner. Because sometimes it feels like you need us. We actually need you more. We can bring the money, but we don't know how to do what you do. We don't know how to do what the millers are doing. So we need all of us around the table. So we are equal partners. So we commit ourselves, knowing that the challenges ahead requires the same unity and resolve so that it can carry us far. As we reflect on the theme today, reimagining the agricultural sector, we must remain grounded in the realities of our growers. There's a lot that has been done in this area, but there's still the reality. I mean, yesterday we were told statistics as we walked around communities, rural women under the trees, rural men supporting the work that the young people are doing, that more than 25,000 small-scale farmers in the country only contributes 12%. It can't be right. It really cannot be right, not in our lifetime. So we really require that land to be released so that all of us can make sure that we support the great work that can be achieved. and lift people out of poverty. They don't need to come to Joburg to have a better life. They don't need to go to Cape Town. I mean, an older man was saying, you know what? Hamba uye ema shop manje nizokumusha ne kulaba banganyizwa. Athi go to the shops. Our boys are no longer just loitering there, hanging there, not knowing what to do with their lives. I don't know about you. I come from Soweto. Well, I moved, ne? But I come from Soweto and I go visit. There's something wrong between 10 o'clock and 11 o'clock to see the streets full of young people. I mean, I drive there, my car, with shame, man. There's something is fundamental. So, SAFDA, if it means those shops in that area will remain empty without young people loitering at the prime time of their life. I mean, 10 to 11 is like the peak time of everybody. You have woken, you are about to go to lunch. People at that time must be engaged. So we are happy to partner to make it work and let it remain that way. Communities are not mere statistics. They are families. They are an entire rural community that needs to be supported. So Kagiso Trust mission has always been to contribute towards development with sustainable funding, building like-minded partnerships, and make sure that development is scalable. So our partnership here with SAFDA is not incidental. It is grounded on data. This is what we want to see in the next 3 years. We want to contribute towards 51,600 hectares of potential small-scale farmers expansion. We want 9,900 hectares of land reform re-establishment. We would like to see, we want to target 5,000 hectares in the next 3 years. We want to see more profitable new revenues being created in this area. We think if we get the formula right, 198 million new revenue will be introduced. So, this potential, this very potential, is the reason why Kagiso Trust has invested 50 million to this cane development initiative. And we believe that together we can stand firm. Partners who are here, milling companies, SAFDA, Kagiso Trust, government partners, the financial institutions, SAFDA financial institutions, we believe that collectively we've got what it takes to bring this transformation. As I said earlier, the path to true transformation will require community-led coalitions, will require partnership, practice, and participation. We must find and learn how to resolve our conflicts. Things cannot collapse because we differ. When we start these partnerships, we must know that we start them to last. So yes, there is a call. There is a call on all of us to be patient, to lower our egos, to coordinate better. There is a call for technical precision in what we do. We have learned. Let's use these skills. There is a path to be willing to be stretched so that the people can benefit. So in closing, Chair, I would like to acknowledge all the partners here, that our resilience and commitment should remain the foundation of this sector. As Kagiso Trust, and as we face the next 40 years, our intention is clear. We want to deepen partnerships, strengthen our impact, and ensure that no farmer is left behind in the future that we are trying to build collectively. We stand ready, together with our trustees, not only to support transformation, but to shape what a black farmer could be if people around this room can work together to make sure that they prosper. Let's test this. Let's test this and come back and review. And I think we'll surprise ourselves. We got what it takes.